Hello, hello, beautiful. Welcome. It's another Thursday. So it's another Thursday talk with me, professional organizer Suzanna Kaye. I'm super excited to have you here with me today. So as you probably already know, the Thursday talks are not structured talks at all. There's simply a chance for me to chat one-on-one with you and have conversations about the mental sides of organizing and answer any questions that you have that have to do with paper and home organizing, all that fun stuff. So I never know where it's going to go. I just kind of share whatever comes up based on whatever you're interested in. So I'm glad that you're here. So the latest things for me today, actually, my husband's just letting our puppy in. He took her out to go to the bathroom. This is me too, the puppy. Hi. So you just went potty. But our latest thing is that she has recently turned 4 months old. And that has been both fun and a challenge, having a puppy around the house. You may have seen my email in the love letters about how my puppy has helped with my procrastination. And that's the whole point of that love letter, was the fact that, you know, sometimes we procrastinate because we have too much time and we really can think about having time to do it later. But with the puppy, especially when she was super little, with the puppy, it was really hard to be able to get anything done, especially because when we first got her, like, I could not even take a shower. She had not learned object permanence, which means if she did not see me, she thought that I was gone forever. And she did not realize that I was right there behind a shower door and I would be back. So my showers were usually spent with the door partway open and her whining in the corner trying to get in. So needless to say, there was very little that I could really get done when she was 8 weeks old and, 3 pounds. But now that she's getting older, I'm not suffering from that lack of time due to her anymore. So I can procrastinate on things a bit more again. And I've noticed the difference in things like mopping the floors. I hate mopping the floors. Hate mopping the floors. And, before COVID, we actually had somebody who came in and just mopped the floors because that was the thing that I hated the most. But now I can put it off more because I don't have, 5 minutes to quickly get it done. I actually do have some time later that I can get it done. So later becomes a possibility. But yeah, when she was tiny, I did not have the time. I only have 5 minutes. So I knew that if the floors were going to get mopped, which with a puppy, they have to get mopped often, then I had to do it right then. So sometimes with procrastination, we might procrastinate because we have too much time, and just be aware of that. So sometimes I will try to, if I'm procrastinating a whole lot, I will try to make sure to schedule more things in my calendar, either seeing more friends or actually scheduling tasks that I need to do. So that way I can't just procrastinate on things because it can be a bit of a danger. But as you hop on, I see that we already have several people hopping on. If you are enjoying the chat so far, then hop in, tell me who you are, where you're joining me from in the comments. Give me, a thumbs up, give me a heart, let me know if you're enjoying the conversations that we have. But these Thursday conversations are pretty new. So if you do have any organizing or paper organizing questions, then ask those in the comments as well. That's what I'm here for. So we can have a fun chat. I already see, thank you so much. I already see a good thumbs up. And you're just awesome. So one of the things that also I figured that I would talk about during the Thursday chats are some of the core beliefs of Suzanna Kaye organizing and the things that I teach. That I teach in the Paper Path course and membership and the Spark Life binder and the home organizing group on Facebook. All of these places that I share my information and share about organizing, there are some core beliefs that all of it is founded on. And I don't talk enough about some of those beliefs. I teach them in a roundabout way, but I don't really explain what they are so much. So on the Thursday Lives, I'm going to try to cover all of the different 5 core beliefs of the company a little bit more for you too. And one of the core beliefs that I wanted to talk about today, which I hear questions about so often, let me know in the comments if you struggle with this too, but perfectionism and wanting things to be done just right and getting stressed out if they aren't perfect and done just right and trying to maintain all of that. So let me know if you struggle with perfectionism at all or can understand how that is. But one of the core beliefs of Suzanna Kaye organizing and of myself is perfectly imperfect. And what I mean by that is it's basically the 80-20 rule. 80% of what we do towards something actually matters and actually moves the needle. The other 20% usually does not actually have much of an effect, if any effect at all. So if you're putting forth all of that effort of making something absolutely perfect and you're putting in that last 20%, then that's a lot of wasted effort a lot of the times. And it's really hard to keep up because if you're trying to be perfect, then that's extremely stressful. And you're spending a whole lot of time on the perfect part and not much time on that 80% that actually makes the biggest movement in your projects. So perfectly imperfect to me means that it's not precise and perfect to every single degree, but it's good enough in all of the right ways. It works really well for you. It gives you what you need it to give you. So for example, in organizing, maybe, you don't have all of the mason jars of dried beans lined up next to each other, perfectly labeled. Maybe what works better for you overall and is easier for you to maintain is doable is instead of mason jars full of beans, you have all of the bean boxes of beans lined up in order so you can easily see the labels and quickly grab them. So you don't have to constantly refill things and stuff like that. So perfectly imperfect is one of the things that I share very, very often because so many people won't even start because of perfectionism. And I just see it get in the way. And when I worked with people one-on-one in their homes, that was probably one of the leading causes for clutter in people's homes was perfectionism. I see Angie says, haha, not me. Amen, sister. I love it. Lori says, perfectionism holds me back from finishing projects. Yes, because if you're afraid of it not being perfect, then it's really hard to ever consider it finished because you want it to be finished perfectly. Angie says, only every day, all day. I love it. Yeah, I know, Angie, I've seen you so many times in person. Angie and I go out for drinks sometimes, and she's local and so much fun. And yeah, she is a spitfire. She gets things done. But yeah, I can totally understand the occasional perfectionism. And yeah, Lori, I see Lori in the group all the time too. You're so much fun. Penny says, me exactly, it slows me down on projects. So perfectionism it's all in your head, and we all know that. That does not make it any easier. But the way around perfectionism is to start taking small steps to purposely be imperfect. And when you do that, then it gives your brain a chance to see that everything is okay, even if it's not perfect. You can't just jump from everything being perfect and trying to maintain control of everything to, okay, well, I'm just going to give that up. That's not how it works. We have to teach our brain that it's going to be okay if things are not 100% in control. Laura says that she hops around from one project to another and does not finish. Amen. I've done that before too. And that's a hard one to pull my focus back to that one. Hey, Carla, sweet lady from Kentucky. Welcome, welcome. But yeah, so when you're trying to change from perfectionism to perfectly imperfect, which is our goal, is to have everything like really good, not perfect, not to that point of it being stressful if it's not exactly as it should be and if it's not perfectly lined up, but really good where you still feel confident that you can get what you need to get. It's efficient. It looks good. It gives you that calming sense. You feel good about it. That's what we want. So in order to do that, start to strategically choose things to make slightly imperfect. So, and I know I fall into this trap because perfectionism is control. The only reason why we want things to be perfect is because it gives us that false sense of control, and it kind of tells our brain that we are fully in control of that one thing, which then makes us feel like we are fully in control of our own life, we think, but it actually does the opposite. And then it stresses us out more about what we're not in control of. So giving ourselves that control over the things that aren't as important sometimes can backfire and make everything kind of snowball when it comes to control and make everything else seem even more out of control. And it builds on itself and makes control even bigger issue. So letting go of the control can start by being perfectly imperfect, by choosing small areas to purposely not make perfect. And some good areas might be maybe in your closet. If you struggle to put away your laundry and to keep your closet in order because you always want to make sure that everything's color-coded and hung on the hangers exactly the right way and ironed first, whatever it is that's keeping you from getting that closet to be in order all the time and getting that laundry put away, maybe back off a little bit and say, okay, you know what? My new version of perfectly imperfect and done is the clothes are on hangers, but they aren't exactly color-coded. And they might not be all facing exactly the right way on the hanger. Just getting them on the hangers and hung up in the closet is much more important. When the laundry is done, getting them put away is more important than getting them put away perfectly. And try that. Hey, Patricia, good to see you from NYC. But try that out. Pick an area where you can purposely let go of some of that control. Maybe in the kitchen, maybe you don't fold the towel exactly precisely in 3 and hang it over the rack all the time. Maybe sometimes you let it just hang there, however it fell. Because with perfectionism, also our families can't keep up with it and they won't want to help you with the housework. They won't want to help you with the laundry. They won't want to help you put away the dishes because they're always going to be set up to fail. Because what we feel is perfect in our minds makes the most sense. And I fall into perfectionism as far as processes and efficiencies, and it drives me absolutely crazy. If the dishwasher is not loaded efficiently and if certain things aren't done in a certain way, it drives me absolutely nuts. And I've had to learn to back off so that my family can help me. Because when I was trying to make how the dishwasher is loaded perfect and everything in just the right place, like I had gone as far as printing a picture of the dishes in the dishwasher and how they should be laid out. When I was trying to control that, it did not help my husband feel like he enjoyed helping with the dishes. He felt like it was not appreciated because he would do the dishes and either I would complain that he loaded the dishwasher wrong, or I would go in after him and I would rearrange some of the dishes. In which case he's like, why should I bother if you're just going to redo it anyway? And he feels unappreciated and there's no way, because in his brain, he did not understand exactly why everything had to be the way that it was. He did not agree that it was as important as in my brain I'd built it up to feel like it was. So for him to do the dishes was no fun because I would just either redo it or I would complain that it was not done right, or he'd be stressed out so much about looking at the picture and making sure that things were in the right space that it just felt like even more work. So now he can do the dishes because I've decided, you know what? With the dishes, you've heard done is better than perfect. And I let go and I said, you know what? If he wants to do the dishes, then I'm going to stay out of his way, stay in my own lane, let him load the dishwasher however he wants to. I might point out if there's a dish in there that's not dishwasher safe, but let him load the dishwasher in his way. Let him run the dishwasher because that way the dishes get done. He feels good that he's helping out. I feel good that I did not have to do the dishes and that I have him helping out. And it did not actually hurt anything. So that was one of my steps towards perfectly imperfect, was letting go of the dishes. And now he does the dishes. Most of the time, he's the one doing the dishes at the end of the night. He loads the dishwasher. I just unload it, and it works out so much better. Hey, Annie, so good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Lori says that she finds that putting silverware and dishes in the same place makes it easier to find. Maybe that's why my hubby rarely does dishes. Yes. And, there's a balance. There is a point where, if he's just putting, like if Jeff were to put the dishes in just random places in the kitchen where they don't go, then it's going to make it really hard when I go to cook because I can't find the things I need. So there is a balance. I do expect that he will put things away in the right place. But if it's getting done, then I don't need to control the process. Just let it get done. Because yes, Jeff was resisting doing the dishes, and he'd do them, but he'd be cranky or feel resentful, feel unappreciated. And then I would feel cranky and resentful because he wasn't doing it right. And it just became this huge mess. And nobody liked doing the dishes, and it was a constant stress. But now it's wonderful because I let go. And it still stresses me out sometimes. I won't lie. There are times where I open the dishwasher and I look at it and I just close it and walk away, get my mindset back in the right place, open it up, and then I can just think I'm thankful that the dishes are done and I did not have to do them. That was the goal. So it's not an easy process, but finding those little things really helps. And yes, Angie, it is so hard sometimes, but it's harder at the beginning. To be honest, those first weeks of Jeff doing the dishes, when I decided I was going to let go of that whole process and where they should go and all of that, I don't know. I think I took so much Midol that week. It was very stressful for me. And I'm sure that he felt stressed because he was just waiting for me to be like lurking in the back and tell him that there was something wrong. So he did not quite trust that I was going to leave it. But over time, it became easier because I trained myself more to open the dishwasher and think, thank you. And I'm so glad the dishes are done instead of focusing on what was not done. And they're like, sometimes the month, it's super hard. But for the most part, it's not as hard because I've been practicing it. And Paula says, yes, this was the way about the dishwasher and folding laundry. Not anymore. Absolutely good. Yay. I love that. Yay, Paula. Hey, Sylvia from Miami. So good to see you here. If you're enjoying these talks, remember, give me a little heart, a thumbs up on Facebook, like it on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to the channel on YouTube. So that way you can see more of these talks. I'm trying to do them almost every Thursday that I can. Just do these casual chats. But if you have any questions, then feel free in the comments. Let me know. And as you hop on, let me know who you are, where you're joining me from. But yeah, so perfectly imperfect, that is one of the huge core beliefs that I have in my business that I like to share with everybody, because it makes such a difference when we can get to the point where we can let some things go. And there are other ways that this actually plays out as well. Oh, I'm so glad you like them, Sylvia. Oh, much love. Thank you, Lynn. I love it. But another way that perfectly imperfect can fit in and be applied in your life is, oh, thank you, Lori. I love you. Another way is through how much we take on and what we take on in our lives. So, for example, the other day, I was doing something random and I thought I needed to look up this fact. And I can't remember what it was. Oh, it was corn. I was talking with my daughter and Jeff about how long it takes for corn to grow. And we were not agreeing about how long we thought that it took corn to grow, because Kayla's got this corn that she's growing that she got from this little local farm, and it's getting like about this tall, and we're really impressed that it's that big. So, but all of a sudden it became this thing where we Googled how long corn took to grow, and we Googled, if it grows in Florida as well as it grows up north and all of this stuff. And we made it this big thing when it was not something that we were enjoying looking up. So we created this big to-do project over something that was not that important. So sometimes being perfectly imperfect is being okay with just not Googling things to find out the answers, or being okay with not adding something to your to-do list. So I was talking just the other day on the comments on a Facebook post, and it was in the paper path, I believe. One of the pathfinders had mentioned I posted the task to unsubscribe from, I think it was 5 emails in your inbox. And that was kind of our small bite task for that day over in the paper paths private Facebook group. And one of the comments was, and it was a great comment, she said that she might need to start making a list to track what she unsubscribes from, because she feels like a lot of times the companies don't unsubscribe her. And that's probably true, because either they're not really honoring your email and they're not honoring your request to be taken off, or maybe they have one of those systems where you've unsubscribed from one type of their emails, but you weren't aware that there's more. So probably there were a bunch of them that she unsubscribed from that weren't actually unsubscribed, so they kept coming. So instead of making a list, that now creates a whole other project where you've got this list that not only do you have to remember to add things to the list, you have to remember to go check the list, you have to maintain where the list is. It's another piece of paper or another app or another digital document that you've got to go to another place and maintain. And that takes mental energy and time. So is there a way that you can do that? Maybe not as perfectly as having, this is the date that I unsubscribed, this is the name of the company in a list. Maybe you can do it in a perfectly imperfect way. So I suggested, and I'm sure that there are many other ways to do this too, but I suggested maybe whenever you unsubscribe to an email, save that email in a folder in your email inbox called unsubscribes or something like that. And then every once in a while, if you feel like that company is emailing you again, you can go to your unsubscribes folder, see if that's one of the companies that you did unsubscribe from. And if it is, then you can go through the whole process of whatever you need to do in order to complain to the company, make sure that you actually get unsubscribed. But instead of maintaining this list, going to a different area to keep the list, making it a big project, maybe it's as simple as, after you hit unsubscribe, you move that email over to the unsubscribes folder, so you always have a record of which ones you unsubscribed from. Not quite as perfect, but still absolutely gets the job done. Much less stress, much faster. So that's another way to be perfectly imperfect. Look for ways to simplify a process or a project that will still get the job done well enough, or learn to let it go. Maybe you don't look up how long it takes corn to actually grow. If you're not super interested, maybe you consciously choose to not look something up, because we spend so much time now. I know back in the 80s, if I wanted to figure out if the corn was going to grow by fall, then I'd have the thought, I'd wonder if the corn will grow by fall. Then I'd let it go, because the option was to go to the library or pull out the encyclopedias. And it was not important enough for me to actually take all of that effort to find out if the corn would grow. I mean, in fall, I'll find out. So there was some freedom in that, and there was some peace in that. But now that we have everything at our fingertips and we can Google everything, now we have the stress of all of these things that we think that we should do and we should look up. I should see if there's a better price for the dog food that we have on auto ship. That would be great, but I don't need to add that to my to-do list. If I happen to think about it at the right time and I have the time and I want to do it, that's a great time to do it. But maybe in the meantime, I let it go, because if it becomes really important and a problem, I will think about it again at the right time. It's not like I'm going to forget it if it's actually important. Thank you, Angie. Oh, Rita, thank you so much. I'm glad that you love the videos and chats. These are a new fun thing for me. I'm really enjoying the Thursday chats, and I'm trying to keep them to, under an hour, like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. So that way, I'm not taking up your whole day. But it's really nice to just be able to chat with you about whatever comes up and these mental sides of things, because actually the mental side of organizing is what I love the most. And that's where I really like to do the deepest dives. And that's what makes the biggest difference. So when I worked one-on-one with people in their homes as an organizer, it helped them to get their home organized and to show them what bins would work best and how to sort. But what helped them the most when I worked with them was always the mental side. It was those aha moments and those mental shifts that are different for everybody. And I never knew what I was going to say that would be the aha moment, but possibly like one client I had, it was, don't keep items with negative memories, because, just like Marie Kondo says, does it bring you joy? You want to make sure that you're not keeping anything that brings up those negative emotions or sadness or anything like that, because you will remember those events even without that item. And holding on to that item is not serving you. It's taking up space in your home for something that makes you feel sad or angry or resentful or in some way negative. And for her, like to me, I just would walk around and organize and like drop these little like useless mental organizing knowledge thoughts as I went and as I explained things. But to her, all of a sudden it was a light bulb moment. And it just changed everything. And she went around the house. She's like, does it bring me joy? Does this make me happy? And suddenly it just like that aha moment was this just switch. And everything that she looked at in a different light, because that mental side had changed. That one mental thought, that new way of thinking, it opened up a whole new way of seeing things. And she had such an easier time letting go of a lot of things that she'd been holding on to out of obligation and responsibility and just wanting to be the keeper of the family history. But she realized she did not have to keep the negative family history anymore. So it's all of those mental moments that made the biggest difference with my clients and that make the biggest difference in my life with things. So that's what I love to share with you. So I'm so glad that you're here today. Make sure every Thursday, for the most part, at 11 o'clock Eastern, I will be here on YouTube and Facebook live chatting with you. You can ask questions if you have any questions about organizing, and we can deep dive into your question, or you can just listen to whatever randomly I happen to think of, wherever the conversation takes us. So I'm glad that you joined me today. Make sure to check out, I believe, is it next week? No, 2 weeks. I'm going to check my calendar. This is actually worth checking out because I'm about to tell you. Yes, so Monday, August 2nd, which is this upcoming Monday, in the Home Organizing Challenges Facebook group. And let me put that group link on the screen. There we go. In the Home Organizing Challenges group on Facebook, we are doing the 14-day declutter challenge. And this, I think, is my favorite challenge that we do each year. I think we do it like twice a year. And this is the one where let me know in the comments if you've taken part in this challenge before. But this is where every day I post a category and a number of things from that category. And you look and see if you can find that number of things in your home to let go of. So I might post, 5 beauty products. And then your goal for the day is to look through your beauty products and see if you can find 5 of them to either, sell, donate, recycle, trash, however, just let them go if you don't need them. It's just a fun challenge because we get to post photos of what we let go of and share all of our successes. Most of the time, people will go and they'll look in that beauty category. They're like, I found 15, or I, got started and I just kept going. So I reorganized my entire makeup cabinet. All of these different fun things that happen within that challenge. It is by far my favorite, most exciting challenge. And the reason it works so well is because it's just one tiny small step. So it's so easy to do. If you miss a day, it doesn't make the whole thing unravel. You can hop in whenever you can and catch up later if you want to. But we had so much fun. Oh, thank you so much, Julie. But yeah, let me know if you've been in the declutter challenge in the group before. But that's coming up Monday the 2nd. So make sure, head over to the Facebook group so you can see the challenge tasks. And I believe that there's going to be like the free checklist that we'll have available for the challenge that you can grab all in the Facebook group. Lori says that she started an unsubscribe list a few weeks ago, but never finished it. Also created an email unsubscribe folder, but again, haven't kept up with checking it. Now I just delete the email or paper mail. And you know what? That's actually great. Because if you chose the simplest method that's taking you the least amount of time to try to track these things, such as the unsubscribe folder, if it's important enough to you, then you will go to that folder and check it. But if you find that you're not going to the folder, pardon the dogs, if you find you're not even going to the folder to check, then that tells you that it's actually not that important to you to be double checking those unsubscribes. You've got better things to do with your time. So after a while, you do exactly like you do now. You just delete the email or the paper mail and you don't worry about it. And that's the perfect way to be perfectly imperfect, is know what matters to you and let go of it. Yes, you could, be hyper vigilant and make sure to double check and go after anybody who still sends you something after you unsubscribed. But that takes so much time and effort. And if it's not worth it to you to spend that time, then let it go. And that's exactly what you did, Lori. You are rocking it. And that is the perfect example of it. So if you're not sure, set up an email and subscribe folder, try it out. If you find that you're not checking it, stop even saving it there. Delete the folder and just let it go. That's the best way to be. I love it. Thank you for sharing that, Lori. That was perfect. You're so welcome, Carla. And Roseanne, you're so welcome. I love you all so much. You are absolutely amazing. And if you do want to find out when I'm going live, like today, I sent out a notice by text message when it was 5 minutes from me going live. And it was just a quick text message saying, going live in 5 minutes. Here's the link to join. If you are interested in getting text messages for any type of events, like when I go live, or if I've got a webinar, or like any type of event that you would need a notice for, then I just set up this service where you can sign up for text messaging from me. So you would get a text message from me. I don't send a bunch of text messages. I don't spam you. I'm talking like 1, maybe 2 text messages a week, depending on if there's an event going on. Not a bunch. It's not like in PaperPath, we have text messaging also, which is separate with encouragements and tasks and stuff. But this is if you're interested in getting text messages for when I'm going live, when I have an event that you might want to register for, then there's the phone number to text, and the phrase to text to it, you have to be exact, is events and the number 1 with no space. So events with the number 1, text that to that phone number, and you can get messages sent right to your phone by text whenever I'm going live. You're so welcome, Penny. And kisses to you too, Lori. Yes, I am trying to make sure that I send out an email whenever I'm going to go live. And I'll probably try to create like some kind of a tag for people who want those live messages in the near future, because I don't want to send messages to anybody who doesn't care to get those. I don't have those set up consistently yet for these, but that is something that I am hoping to add on as well. Because yes, I do understand if you're watching it on your computer, it's so much easier to just get the email right to your computer. But I am working on that one. So sometimes you will, it's just not consistent yet, but I'm working on that. Well, I love you so, so much. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. I will see you next Thursday. If you're watching the replay, and please still tell me hi. Tell me who you are, where you're watching the replay from, and I will see you soon. You're so welcome, Eloise. I love you. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.